Hey, what's up guys? I'm C Love. I bought this rigid R4331 13-inch thickness planer almost a year ago and I haven't even had a chance to use it yet, so it's about that time. I got some rough cut aromatic cedar from my good buddy Dwight so I can learn a thing or two about this machine and show you also. I'm going to show you what I can, but if I missed anything, please make sure and let me know in the comments section. Come on, let's take a look. As you can imagine, I was pretty excited. So once I got it out of the box, I tossed the user manual to the side without even looking at it because I like to do dangerous things. You should probably take a look though. Packed inside with the planer was a dust chute and the height adjustment handle, each with their own bolt to secure them down. You can see right here that a quarter of a turn of the handle in either direction will move the carriage up and down a 64th of an inch. So a full turn would be a 16th of an inch, 2 full turns would be an 1/8 inch, and so on. The repeat cut function is pretty awesome for planing down different thicknesses of wood to the same dimension. Simply set your carriage above the target thickness and rotate this knob to the desired height, and when you are planing, you won't cut any thinner than this setting right here. Next is making sure that your in-feed and out-feed tables are adjusted properly. Mine seems to have been set up correctly from the factory as I didn't notice any issues while I was looking it over for this video, but I missed things too. Using a 2-foot aluminum level, I placed about half of it under the cutting surface and the other half over the in-feed or out-feed tables, making sure that there is as little gap as possible in between the level and the planer. I was too focused on filming the level and the gap and didn't notice that my out-feed table was just a little bit low. I think this may have contributed to a little bit of snipe that happened on the back end of my board while passing it through the planer. Snipe is basically when the backside of a longer board lifts up just a tiny little bit and the planer cuts deeper into that little segment than on the rest of the board. You can adjust the height of your in-feed and out-feed tables with these 2 screws right here. Moving on, the IndiCut feature is useful for seeing how much material will be removed with each pass through the planer. You can see as I move the carriage up and down that the indicator moves from no material removed up to 1/8 of an inch, though I wouldn't recommend taking off that much at once. I try to remove as little as possible with each pass to preserve the life of my blades. Another great feature is the child safety lock. Easily remove the yellow piece from the power switch assembly and it will make the power switch inoperable. Replace it and we're back in business. The carriage lock is a feature that helps prevent snipe and will help ensure that your carriage does not move up or down while you're in the middle of planing. You will need to lock and unlock this with every pass to be able to adjust the height of your cutting surface. Here's a brief look inside and you will notice the circuit breaker. If your machine gets too hot during use, it will trip this breaker right here. You're going to need to wait about 30 minutes for it to cool off before pushing this button and getting back to work. After that, I'll make sure the blades are tight. This cover only has 2 screws securing it down, so it was pretty easy to remove. There are 3 cutting blades in this machine and each blade has 6 screws securing it down. I'll make sure that every one of them is tight with the included Allen wrench tool that also has magnets on the side with the handle. The cutting head turns in both directions, so make sure you remember which way you are going. I used that white fan blade thing over there on the left to safely rotate the cutting mechanism. Notice the red tab there too. This will lock into place so you can safely work on the blades, but you will need to unlock it before rotating to the next one. After you've done all 3 blades, you absolutely cannot forget to unlock this before replacing the dust cover. I'll finish up tightening this last blade and I'll do my best to show you what I'm talking about. Push that red tab and rotate your cutting head just enough that it doesn't pop back into the lock position. You will hear it lock into place 2 times here, and then I'll leave it in the unlock position at the end. Hopefully that covers most of the major features because I'm going to finish setting this thing up and get to the fun part. I'm sure that's what you want to see anyways. Make sure and wear safety glasses and earplugs as always, and gloves to help minimize splinters too. This machine isn't crazy loud, but it does make a considerable amount of noise, so keep that in mind. It does make quite a mess if you don't have some kind of dust collection system hooked up to it. You'll see all the shavings all over the driveway here shortly. I'll send a couple more boards through here to show you how beautiful the grain on this cedar is, and I'll ask you to please smash that like button if you found this video helpful or entertaining at all. Please also consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see simple woodworking projects and other videos like this one. Come back and see me because I'll be posting something awesome again here real soon. Thanks for stopping by. I've got a little bit of extra time here, so let me tell you a little bit more. The planer surface is 13 inches wide and you can plane boards that are up to 6 inches tall. A 15 amp motor sounds pretty good, and I think that translates to roughly 2 or 3 horsepower, maybe a million, I'm not really sure. The top of the planer can be used as temporary storage if needed, but I wouldn't recommend that either. If you're still watching and you are outside of the United States, I'd sure love to hear what country you're from. Let me know in the comments section. I'll see you soon.